Right, wait for everyone to get into the lobby at this point. And Man United and Chelsea in the background here. Turn it down again. I've got 12 people in at the moment. Don't know why I've got both windows open. I gotta do that because it's actually quite cold. Yeah. Hello. Welcome to Tier 1 Canada. Hello, Donny.
You're right, Pyro.
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. So, this is like a pre-race ritual in Tier 1, guys. So could you, say good luck to me, please?
Good luck, Donny. I
Okay,
mean,
bye.
in a bit. Why is there always something in Tier 1, at the start of these Tier 1 streams? Always something. Should be a tier 1 stream, Tier 1 link in the chat now. A pretty interesting title race coming up here for Tier 1. Tier 1 being Stell currently leading, Joe in second. And then you've got Logan and Alu all within 14 points of each other, all able to take a lead today if things go right. I see that Joe's racing, Logan's racing, Alu and Stell, all four are racing, so this could get very interesting very quickly. I'll be you in the AlphaTauri. Stick less. Might scale these away then. But yeah, just having a couple more people join us there. McLaren, Trumpus is also racing, showing some promising pace so far this season. Hasn't been able to turn it into an awful lot, but not doing an awful job at it either. Got a couple of minutes until we start. It's meant to go off at 8, but I don't know how many people we actually have here. How many people they actually have for today, so let's have a look. 13 plus reserves. Bambino's not making it either. Okay. So we what, 15 should be today? Should be 15. Might be 14 if Jacobo's not racing. Alu's racing even though he's suffering through illness. So we've got 14 for tonight. It should be interesting around Canada. There might not be anywhere near as many safety cars as I was first anticipating then. We're about to head into qualifying. This is probably the first time since I've been here we've actually started 8 o'clock on the dot. Wait for a few people to load in now then. As per usual, in qualifying it's a case of first person out will watch the flying lap, usually the same person that goes on to will watch their out lap and then their flying lap. There's usually the same person who will start both of those first, and then we just go off to whoever's in a decent position from that point. We've got 5 seconds until we start because Stell and Trumpus hasn't loaded in yet. Hello to the guys watching. The people watching, sorry. 14 others racing today for Tier 1. Few, by the looks of it, quite a lot didn't make it. A few people going on mediums for their first run. Including Logan and Joe, two of you guys looking towards the top of the championship. It looked like the Ferrari there almost spins out immediately because the game glitched. It looked like Ern's the first one out the pits, is the first one out the pits, and here we go. Followed by a Red Bull of Alu Palu. Just watch their outlaps for the moment in time. Let's put telemetry on for a change. Should probably turn his hot lap off. Doesn't need his hot lap for his first lap round. Got Logan out on an outlap as well. So Alu's come out on softs. Donnie's come out on softs. Same with Denja07 and Ross. The rest of them either in the pits or out on mediums. Logan and the first one we're watching, out on the medium tyres. So should be interesting to see what people go with here. Mediums, if what we were trying out the other day is accurate, might not be. It might be a little more. It was about 4/10 that we found out, but I have to wait and find out, I guess. Here we go. Through the wall of champions for the first time today. Is going to set us off for his first line lap. And off we go. Into turn 1. Up into Woods in 8th. And Ross has retired immediately. Someone's crashed in the wall of champions already by the looks of it. We continue to watch camera angle there because it did not look great for Ross. Sector 1 is a 19.4, so we can put where that might end up sooner or later. It looks like Alu did quicker by the fact that that purple didn't stay for quite a long time. Didn't get too great on that chicane. A little bit unsettled for it. Into the hairpin now. 41.3 is the time for the second sector. And now through the this back straight and then down into the wall of champions. With DRS in 8th gear. Takes it a bit wide at the beginning. Could get away with getting a bit closer in, and he does a 199 in the medium tires. Alu's done a 110.1 on the softs to start with. So it's Nicholas coming down the straight now. We'll watch him. See what time he can pull up. So it looks like the Alpine is coming into the pits there. Or the Williams, one of the two. Couldn't quite see which car it was. Stickler does a 10.3. Joe invalidated his lap. Mitchell going through sector 1. Let's watch Mitchell's lap. See if he's going to be able to do an awful lot here. Stell's still tough set of laps. Same with Logan. Obviously, it invalidated his first one. I don't want to... I accidentally clicked the button there. Somebody's gone off. Oh, he's waiting. It's a Red Bull waiting in the third sector. Looks like Alu. See what second sector time here is for Mitchell. Did a 41.9. Mitchell did 41.5. I believe that's what happened anyway. That's the case, and Mitchell looking for a pole. A provisional pole. We're only 5 minutes into the thing. Logan did a 9.5 on his second lap on those medium tyres. Mitchell around the wall of champions, keeps it valid. Doesn't hit a wall either. Goes through, does a 9.988. And Estelle's just done a 108.982 during that. So looks pretty decent out for Stell at the moment. It's half a second quicker than anyone else. Joe keeps it valid through the final corner, goes down, sets himself a 9.8 on the medium tyres. Couple of guys going around there. Donny, the yellow flag. It's looks like it might actually be Logan. It is Logan that's caused it. Let's have a look at Donny's lap. Oh, the moment we've got Donny, Mark, and Denja coming out to set a lap. The other two already on there, so it could be interesting, unless Logan's setting up for one more. Like, Alu just did a 9.6 on the soft. Yeah, he did. Puts him in front of Joe, puts him third on the grid, so it's Red Bull 1-3 at the moment in qualifying. Donny into the final couple of corners. The Wall of Champions is not going to claim Donny. Time doesn't look to be very impressive. It does put him fourth. It is a 9.8, but it is on the soft, so it's on fresh softs as well. So whilst it's an alright banker lap, he's still quite the way off. Let's have a look at what Mark's invalidated. Let's have a look at what Denja's doing. Denja opened up DRS in Sector 2. I only see Alu and Donny. They're both probably coming into pits. The next available opportunity, Denja's gone the grass there in Sector 2, so it's not going to be too great. 41.6 there for Denja on the soft, which is slower than what Mitchell had on the mediums. Sector 3 yellow flag. Not sure who's that, but it might be Mark letting through the Aston Martin. Denja does the Wall of Champions and keeps it valid. Going through the final now, it's 9.968, which basically splits and Mitchell right down the middle. Mark going, is he going for one more? Is he just doing a race stint at this point? Mitchell done an outlap. BR4 and LBU both going outlaps as well. Denja's just done a in-lap, so you would expect Denja to be... Denja's just done a fly-lap, so you would expect Denja to come in at the end of this. So that purple first sector I've just seen. Nah, that has to be lying to me. I looked purple for a minute. It's a yellow flag in Sector 1 and 2. Looks like Logan's just letting someone by, and Mark's invalidated again. Let's have a look at BR4's lap. BR4's invalidated. Anyone else doing a proper lap? Who's the closest to the line then? Let's watch RBU. On the medium tyre, let's see if he can go and put himself somewhere near Logan or Joe or what they were doing on the medium tyre, which is LBU getting a little bit slidey out of turn 2. Turn 3, whichever one if you're counting the first couple of corners. Going through Sector 1, there was a 19. Everything's just popping up purple at the moment. Not sure why, unless the game does it just when someone just generally goes over it and sets one, but no clue at this point. Sector 2, what time we got here? It's a 41.3, so it is faster than what a couple of the other guys were doing when on the mediums through this sector. It comes into the wall of, comes down the straight into the Wall of Champions. Now, after that final hairpin, and to the Wall of Champions, usually where you see most people crash, but it's not where LBU is going to crash, it's just going to be where he invalidates instead. So BL4 is going to go through an entire lap without invalidating for once. Mark is going to put a time up. That's for how well that time is going to compare with his softs being worn down a bit now. But it's what looks like a race stint. It does a, 10.8. The softs look to be very worn, and Trumpet is just about to start a lap. So we'll go and watch Trumpet for the first time today. The yellow flag in Sector 2. It was just one of the AlphaTauris letting someone pass. 91.5 there for Trumpet in the first sector. Logan does a 1.88. 9.8. I apparently lost all ability to speak English there, which is just shy of a tenth of a second quicker than Stell. These two are going to go back and forth all day. Yellow flag in sector 1, just Logan slowing down. 40.7 there for Trumpus. So good to see what Trumpus is going to put up. See if he can touch Stell and Logan in this race. Into the wall of champions he goes. Keeps it valid. And down the straight. And Trumpus is going to set us a pole setting time of 1.8742, which is 1.5 tenths quicker than Logan is at the moment. See who's actually out doing a proper lap. Herb's just come into pit. Joe's invalidated. Alu looks to be doing a slow lap. Stickless is on a flying lap. Watch Stell's immediately after. Because Stell's on a flying lap, but on an out lap now while Stickless is on a flying. Couple of guys coming out for out laps now to BL4, Mitchell, Denja, and Stell. We would assume that Trumpet is coming into pit, same with Logan. Yellow flag in sector 3 is just the Alfa Romeo pulling over. The top 4 is actually decently close. Trumpet has opened the gap a little bit with his time, but I think there's still more to come. I think there's maybe 2 or 3 tenths of the absolute least. Stickless had a 1:10. Has got a 9.9 now, and puts him ahead of Mitchell. We'll watch Stell's lap as he tries to vie for pole. And going through the first sector, his time here is going to be a 19 flat, and he's almost 1.5 tenths up. 1.5 tenths would put him second. He still needs to find another tenth somewhere to get where Trumpus is at the moment. Going through the second sector, we've got the front wing camera on the front of Stell's car, showing us what's going on. Goes into the hairpin, and he's nearly 3.5 tenths up on his prior lap, which would put him pole by about a tenth, something in that region. The Red Bull just going to give him a tow, which makes sense. Teammates working together through the lap. He keeps it valid through the wall of champions, and Stell is definitely going to be on provisional pole here, but he's going to do a 1.8545, which is 0.437 quicker than his last lap, and exactly, well, almost exactly 2 tenths up on Trumpus' time. Mitchell did a 1.9 flat in the process of Stell's lap. Denja didn't do an awful lot of improvement by the looks of it. What's LBU doing? LBU coming through the final sector now. He does 4.1 flat into the start of the third sector. See where he can put it. See what time he can put up, because at the moment the only person in front of him is only person that might start behind him is Ross. But with a valid time, Ross will start from the back. He's got a valid time, and it's a 1.89. That's an interesting time from LBU. Puts him up 4th, puts him very, very close to the 3rd place on the grid, and not quite close enough to Trumpus and Stell to make a fight out of it, but it's not that far off. 4 tenths off Stell, 2 tenths off of Trumpus. Mitchell coming in. Denja has invalidated lap. Stickless is coming in. BR4 is doing a flying lap by the looks of it. I don't think it's going to be too great. No, it's not. Just straight into the pits. Well, I think this is the point where we have absolutely nothing for a minute or so. Everyone gets themselves ready, put on new tyres, and have almost like a real life F1 shootout at the end of this. I'll be the only one on track at the moment. Oh no, Joe's come out for his lap as well. So we'll watch Joe's lap. because he's the first one out. Only one out on track as well. It's like there's a Red Bull following him. Mark came in after his 7-lap softs. Joe just looking to burn some fuel by the looks of it. BR4 is the slowest so far, 1:11.2. Which I didn't think I would expect from BR4 today. We've got 4 cars now in Trumpers, Alu, Joe and Donny. Out comes Denja as well for his final go at it. But here we go. Joe through the wall of champions, doesn't validate. That would have looked awful. And off he goes onto what should be his last chance on these softs. Maybe he gets one more lap afterwards if he does 2 back-to-back here. Goes through sector 1. What time we got here? It's 1.72 quicker than his last lap. Which would not move him anywhere whatsoever. Would just be a case of him having to settle for 7th at the moment. He's currently 4 tenths off of Mitchell in front of him. Through sector 2, what time is he doing now? Joe going for a championship, obviously. 0.234 is still not enough. Mark's retired from the session. This gives BR4 a chance to not start as far back as he is right now. Joe getting help from his teammate. Probably also slight hindrance by 1 point. Joe through the final corner. Through the wall of champions, does a 1.9 flat, moves him actually nowhere. Alu's the next one up. Joe didn't actually get anywhere whatsoever with his time. He did improve by about 4 tenths, but it wasn't enough to move him up to 6th. Alu coming in now. Stickless retired from the session. And Alu's time is not good enough, so unless he backed off and has gone for another lap, we're doing a bit of we're hoping for Alu, I think, by this point. Denja's retired from the session. Don't know whether if he probably felt like he didn't have enough time to get round. So we're going to go in just order of cars heading towards the end here. Joe's that second Ferrari causing a yellow flag in the second sector. Qualifying is done, so everyone's on the final laps. Trumpus going for pole. He needs 2 tenths of a second, and he invalidates through the wall of champions. That is quite unfortunate. Well, Trumpus is finished. Any higher, he's going to finish second. And it looked like has backed out of his lap. That is quite unfortunate. Stell down the line now. I'm not sure if Alu's going to set another lap or if he had enough time to. Looked like the Red Bull darting to the line. He does set a quicker lap, but it's not enough to move up. Stell, here we go. Through the wall of champions. Is he gonna... Mitchell goes third, 1:08.8. And Stell doesn't improve by the smallest of margin. Donny retires. Logan moves up to second, but it's not even close to enough for pole. Looks like Stell. It is Stell on pole here in Canada. Logan's going to have to settle for second. I don't think he's too disappointed with that. He gets to follow what Stell's doing. Trumpus is third by the smallest of margin. Mitchell does a good lap, puts himself 4th. LBU starts 5th with his 8.8. About 0.06 of a second behind Mitchell in 4th. Then starts 6th in the top. Well, second through 8th, separated by about 2.25 of a second. So it wasn't actually wasn't too big the difference between the rest of the guys in the top of this, tier. And then you've got Alu about 3 further attempts back. Wheel users laughing hard. Yeah, wheel users all the way up to, like, I actually don't know who uses wheel in here, actually. That's something I probably should figure out. But BR4's going to have to start 13th. BR4 just never got going in qualifying. So that's quite unfortunate for him. Clearly could have had a better qualifying. Mark just did a race stint. Stickless in 11th, well, whether or not his internet holds up or not. And you need to refer to Donny as the new Donny. No. I'll do that when he doesn't crash after a couple of races. Might earn the title. I might earn that title by the time Saudi Arabia comes around. Did he downgrade again? Donny becoming a little bit of a bit of a joke at points here. But we're waiting for the formation lap to start here. Just got 12 seconds to go. Not really much to talk about. Is just stare at Canada. Apart from the fact that it looks incredibly dry. Which I don't think anyone might complain about. Let's have a look at what tyres everyone started on. I would assume that this would be a soft or medium. Yep, everyone's started off besides Stickless and Mark. I'm not too surprised at that. This looks to be a 2-stop, but we're about to see it's probably going to be a 2-stop with safety cars. We usually get at least one. I would start the bet if people want to do that again. But yeah. So, quick looking on where everyone is on the championship. So, as I mentioned the top 4 earlier, you've got Stell and Logan. They're 1 and 2 at the moment. And you've got Alu and Joe 7-8, the other 2 in the title fight at the moment. Obviously, this is the last race before we call the halfway mark. We're going through the formation lap now. Every so often, I'm just looking over at the Man United game. So that's on now as well. Should be closing into the start of the race now. Coming through the World Champions. Get everyone set up on the grid and see what chaos unfolds through the first couple of corners, because you know there is going to be some. Everyone getting set up now. No Punterino. No, that's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. You don't get a choice on this, The question is, who is it happening to? Going through the start of this then. We're gonna get the nice set of red lights, even though I can barely even see them. There's 5 red lights out, lights there, and it's lights out, away we go! Logan got a start. It's actually a half decent start this time, but he does get overtaken by Trumpus into turn 1. Gonna have the inside line, and it doesn't look like we've had an awful lot of anything here, actually. A couple of positions changed. Mitchell stayed 4th, LBU dropped a position to Joe. Actually, so did as well. Erm's gone all the way to 10th. Donny drops all the way down now as something's happened to him in the first sector. We go into the second sector now, looking through people who might actually be looking for overtakes. So we've got Ross and Mark going at it at the back. Medium tyres on Mark's cars not helping him out at the moment. A little bit of a collision between the two of them. Logan on the back of Trumpus. So we go into the third sector for the first time as nearly squeezes Stickless into a wall there. And it looked like the Aston Martin, sorry, is going to be able to try something here. Alu looked like he's looking for a move on LBU as well. He was looking for it, but he doesn't quite get it. Ross already has 3 seconds worth of track limits in lap 1, which isn't too great. It looked like we've got to move into turn 1. There's a collision there as well. This Stickless almost on the receiving end of a spin. Donnie and him come together into turn 2, and BR4 goes on the inside of Stickless there. Stickless just dropping down the field. Denja gets in front of him as well. Up towards the front, it looks like Trumpus is not able to dig into what Stell has at the lead so far. Stickless goes behind Ross, so all the soft runners are now in front of said medium runners. Into the hairpin for the second time today, and it looks like we are as you were. Well, almost as you were. The only change in the front 4 being Trumpus and Logan off the very start. Joe currently in 5th. They gained a couple of positions off the start, but not really made anything else work since that point. Stickless has left the session. It hasn't lasted very well. Donnie might have damage. This might be why he pitted so early, and Mitchell's now a second out from Logan as DRS gets enabled. Trumpus is second out of Estelle now. Oh, he was. Keeps dropping in and out as the first DRS detection zone should be coming up very soon. And there it is. So, looked like Trumpus didn't get it. Logan will, though. Not sure if Mitchell has. Can't get a good enough camera angle to see if Mitchell has. LBU does not get anything on Joe. Now is the time, but doesn't narrow enough space to try and make something work. They spun out car there, and Ross has spun out, and it looked like he didn't have a front wing either. Virtual safety car on lap 3. And that was just okay. Ross ends up spinning out the end of the third chicane. Well, it looked like someone's coming to pit here. So Joe's coming to pit on the virtual safety car. That probably solidifies the fact that Joe's doing a 2 stop. In comes Denja as well. Stickless comes in, but a CPU. Should see everyone starting to close in it, starting to get ready again. Virtual safety car shouldn't be too far away from coming in. Well, ending. It looked like Stickless went on hard, so it's interesting choice by the CPU. Everyone else went on the mediums. Donnie went on to mediums a lot before. And the virtual safety car goes here. I'm not sure. There we go. That caught me by surprise. I did not expect it to go quite then, and it looks like it's closed the gap between Stell and Trumpus and Logan, as these three are in DRS range, and Mitchell ever so slightly off the back. I don't think he's got DRS for this one. DRS has been enabled though, and it's going to allow for Trumpus to try and close that gap between him and Stell that's been here since the beginning. Alu gets LBU. They go through the wall of champions together. Just quietly out in front of BR4 and 8th. Trumpus and Logan were not able to make good enough use of the DRS in lap 4 in order to try and hunt down Stell. Stell looks to open the gap back up from what he had before the virtual safety car. It is about 6.5 tenths again, but DRS might come to Trumpus' aid here. They go into the end of Sector 2 now. Final chicane before the end of Sector 2. It's about half a second still between both first and second, and then second and third. Mitchell now within DRS range. Whether or not he stays in by the time the detection line comes is a different question. 9/10, and he drops out just as he comes around the hairpin. He won't get DRS. Oh, he does get DRS. LBU going to get DRS on Alu here. Let's have a look at what Trumpets are doing. He tried it. Probably got a warning for his troubles. And wasn't able to make anything work. Got DRS again, but this straight doesn't usually allow for much to happen. They're going to be close to each other going through the first sector once again. Lap 6 now. Stell can break a second. Stell might be away here. It's 6/10 on the Trumpets. And there's the gap widens between him and Stell. The gap's going to shrink to Logan behind. Denja and Donnie switch places, and it looked like Ross and Stickles did as well. It's about 5/10, so Trumpers is close. Trumpers does get the gap at least halved through the DRS, and then just can't seem to capitalize on it. Outside of the DRS, Stell's cornering might be a bit better at this point in the race. Everyone else going down the grid. Yellow flag in Sector 2 with Denja. There's your weekly Denja spin. You should get something to sponsor that at this point. Trumpers half a second. Still not able to make anything work. LBU gets 3 seconds worth of time track limit, sorry. And so did Denja in the process of spinning. And we've got the front four all quite closely packed together. Mitchell just hanging off the back of Logan, about 8/10. And as Logan's not able to make a move on Trumpers, who can't get past Stell, Mitchell looks to be brought back into this, or he will be soon enough. Had one virtual safety car, and somebody's gone again. What's happened here? Somebody's gone again. Trying to figure out who it is who's brought out the virtual safety car. I didn't actually quite see that, but the virtual safety car has come out again. And that neutralizes the fight for first for a small while, as everyone is now going to come into the pit at the VSC end. Oh, okay. Ouch. That's not good news if you're Stell and Trumpers, because you don't even get the time of the benefit of the virtual safety car now. It's just a full pit stop. Joe gets 3 seconds for track limits. It seems to be filtering through everyone at this point. But it's now Mitchell and Logan who are out in front. They both still have to pit. But now this opens strategy for quite a lot of options here between Stell and Logan, if that ends up being the battle. Trumpers followed Stell in, so it's pretty much set to the same thing that Stell would be doing. Denja's come back into the pits and got a 5 seconds for speeding, which means it's Denja that brought out that virtual safety car. It's about 6/10 of a second now between Logan and Mitchell. Mitchell might be able to make a move if he can close that gap in. He is going to close that gap in. Going to be 4/10 of a second. They come through Wall of Champions. BR4 and BR4 goes on for Alu. Palu gets 3 seconds worth of track limits. Comes into the pit. LBU trying to track down Alu now. We've got a couple of battles there that haven't actually had anything happen, but have the potential to make something change here. And comes into the pit, and Stell goes past Joe. Those three are just going to follow each other for a small while. Would expect Stell to start breaking away after Joe's tyres are a little bit worse for wear. If Trompus can get past Joe, we might still have a battle between Stell and Trompus on our hands. But at the moment, it doesn't look like that's the case. Trompus about 4/10 of a second back, and DRS is not going to help him here because Joe's got it in front of him. Looks to be a little bit out of sorts through that chicane on most of the laps. And M's got 3 seconds. So that's half the lobby now have 3 seconds worth of time penalties. Almost half the lobby. 2/10 of a second now. DRS, they both have it. Trompus has the better tyres. Trompus is also going to go down the inside. And he's going to have the pace and he's going to have the position. Joe trying to fight for the title here has not done particularly well in this race. And Mitchell just hanging on the back of Logan in first and second. As we are not far away from seeing seeing when these guys, I think the strategy call to come in and pit. It's now a second between Logan and Mitchell as DRS. Oh, Donnie's retired! Okay, so Donnie's coming in the pits, and his return to Tier 1 has not gone how he would have imagined it had. Got into the pits and just retired, so that is your first DNF of the day. I didn't see what happened there to cause him to come in and DNF. Danger went on the hards a lap or so ago when he came into pit, probably going to the end now. There's about 4/10 of a second there between Mitchell and Logan. And keep going as we go through. Mitchell closes with the DRS, and we're in the same position that Stell and Trompus were before the virtual safety car came in and split like he's 4 up. BR4 now comes into pit. Should be interesting as to when these front 3 do. Trompus setting the fastest lap of the entire race so far. Let's see what Trompus can do into turn 2 and 3, and now into the chicane at turn 4. You keep touching the walls, well, that's unfortunate, Donnie. 7/10 of a second now, Trompus, as Mitchell closing in on Trocker through the DRS. No one able to get in front of the guy they're currently chasing. It's just a stalemate between the two battles at the moment that we have on track. Stell and Trompus and Mitchell and Logan. Those currently net top 4. As to where they come out when pit stops happen, it's a different question. But it looks like they're going to stay out one more time. Mitchell gets 3 seconds over the wall of champions, and that might come back to haunt him later on. It did in front, so who's to say that whether or not it would hinder him again. Got 13 people currently on the track and 1 DNF. Joe comes into pits off his 7-lap medium tyres. Now he's going on to hards. Oh no, he's going back onto softs, which is interesting. They've still got the 2 battles here, where Mitchell and Logan are just staying very much the same distance apart. And then you've got Stell and Trompus under the same bracket at the moment, even though Stell now gets onto the back of Mark, just maybe inside DRS by the time this hairpin comes. He will be in DRS by the time this hairpin comes. So he should get past Mark on the straight here. Time keeps coming down, so you would probably expect it to happen sooner or later. Mitchell with 4/10 of a second now, and they both come into pit. And we get to watch the battle that goes on here. Stell and Trompus with DRS are both going to go on by. It looks like the pit stops have not helped Logan and Mitchell here. Yep, they just slowly drop down the order. We're going through what's everyone doing as for stops. So Mark's the only one without a stop so far. Everyone who pitted there went onto the medium tyre. Mitchell now has to track down LBU, and Mitchell clatters the wall in the process, following LBU's line. Mitchell might have damage there. Looks like he has got damaged by the way he's driving the car. He's losing a chunk of time. Maybe it's side pod. Continuously losing a bunch of time there to LBU in front of him, and what looked like a promising race for Mitchell might have just gone down the drain with one bad corner. Stell currently going after Mark with the DRS. Trumpus is looking to get himself on the edge of this battle. Stell is not able to get in front of Mark into the World Champions. Mark's doing a job holding Stell up at the moment. Whether or not he's going to be able to do so into turn 1, he's not. Stell finally gets in front. Stell's going to take the lead of the race once again. He's going to have to... Mark's just holding up Trumpus the longer we go. The longer Stell stays out in front to Mark in second, the more the benefit that Stell will get. But it's 9/10 of a second now, and Trumpus has to fight his way back into this. Mark's probably just happy where he is to sit behind and let the DRS drag him over, drag him through the race. LBU all over the curb. Probably got a warning for that, as Logan is 4 seconds off the back of Mark, as we'll be pondering what was the right strategy call at the end of the day. LBU 0.5 of a second off the back of Logan, so it's not even the fact that Logan is clear yet. LBU looking for an overtake. Going through the wall of champions, going to get DRS again. He's 0.4 of a second back. Mitchell 2 seconds off the pace now. You have to probably say I had probably side pod damage at this point. Hindered his race off the end of the chicane. LBU's 0.6. Joe gets 3 seconds, and that is definitely half the lobby, if not more now with penalties. See, everyone all the way from LBU all the way down to Ross had time penalties. Don't know how much. LBU on the verge of getting another. None of the wheels were on the track there. Mitchell is doing well to hold far enough off the back where he can try and make some sort of move to get that pace he had at the start of the race back, if that is even a possibility at this point. .7 of a second. So what's Trumpus doing here into the wall of champions? He's about 1/4 of a second. Going to get DRS again. 0.3 of a second. Is DRS going to be powerful enough to bring him alongside? It's not enough. LBU up the 4th. Mark comes into pit after 14 laps on the medium tyre. Mark comes onto the soft, so I assume that's a medium soft there for Mark. And it's 0.4 of a second between Trumpus and Stell, as DRS has definitely brought Trumpus back in with the chance of winning this race. Logan lost 4 seconds of the result of those pit stops. Heavily damaging to his race as a whole. Maybe regretting the time, and maybe regretting the fact they didn't come in at the same time as the virtual safety car game ended, but guess that's something we might have to ask him at the end here. 4 seconds off the back of Mitchell now. I don't know what happened there. Maybe had a bit of a moment. I didn't get to see. Trumpus at 0.3 of a second again. He's just not able to find the last bit of the last piece of the puzzle to get past. Into turn 1, he's now 1/4 of a second again. It's BR4 and obviously got some sort of damage or something to come in that early, and it's going to allow for BR4 and Alu to go on through. LBU 4 is still within an arm's length of Logan in 3rd. It's got Denja, Sickles and Ross tailed, well, I would say tailed off the back of points, but Pitt has brought Ross back into the fight. back there for points. Trumpus 3.5 tenths of a second again, coming up into the hairpin. Looked like their pace is very similar on the medium tyre. The soft was a little bit more favouring Stell, but I think the longer we go on here, the more it might favour Trumpus. DRS just dragging him along. What's happening to DRS? He's going to get alongside. He's going to get past him for the first time outside of pit stops. We have a new leader of the race. Trumpus has got in front and has DRS as the fastest lap of the race so far. And now Stell's in the position where he has to fight. Trumpus currently winning the race. No, neither of these have to pit now. I think. Oh, there's a danger in the wall in front of us. That has to be a safety car. There it is. And as soon as Trumpus gets to the lead, he's not going to be able to enjoy it for long. That is quite unfortunate. Denja's got it all wrong through the second chicane on the track and is in a wall there. We got it in the background. Flying front wings as Trumpus came on through. So that's the second DNF. We have 12 left. We have one that's just there at the CPU, I think. But yeah, there's 7 guys from 12 with penalties currently in the race. Everyone with 3 seconds instead of Joe, who's got 6, and in comes Stell and in comes Trumpus. They are both coming in for a new set of tyres. It looked like a new set of medium going on both cars. Logan stayed out. It's like Mitchell and LBU are both coming in as well. Alu stayed out with BR4 coming in. The safety car. So Logan's going to be leading the safety car. Stell's had the benefit of the end of a virtual safety car and a full-on safety car for his 2 pit stops in this race. Should be rather interesting as to how the strategy calls here are going to affect the rest of the race, because quite a varying set of strategies at the moment. See his Sticklers has lapped CPU car in the middle there. Safety car not coming in this lap. Safety car probably coming in on the next one. Nope. Probably go on lap 20. Those guys who came out on mediums to start might be a lap too far from possibly pitting. Joe's come into pit though, and from his 7-lap old soft tyres. And we got one more lap around on the safety car. Logan's going to be the one leading us in. Trumpus second, Alu third, Stell fourth. So Constructors is going to take another huge boost for the Red Bull Racing team. You got an AlphaTauri currently sat in 5th and the other one out the points. Been lapped at this point. None of the points will actually count for the week though, because the other two, the 2 original drivers aren't here. BAR4 and Trumpus in the McLarens might actually be getting a benefit tonight if they can gain a few positions here. In particular, Trumpus Unless Logan tries to go to the end of the race, Trumpus is probably going to have a clean shot of winning here. Would expect Alu to be making way for Stell as though at the earliest opportunity. We're going in from the safety car any minute. Looks like Logan's gone. Logan has gone. Logan has caught Trumpus sleeping. Well, he's caught the AI sleeping, but in turn caught Trumpus. And at that point, it looked like Logan has a second gap already. He does have a second gap already. He might be looking to build as much of a gap as he physically can before probably having to pit again. But if he goes an extra 14 laps on the medium tyre here, it probably will do it, but whether or not it'll do it at a capacity good enough to win this race is something we need to answer in 14 laps time if he decides to stay out. Trumpus is already within the second mark of Logan. Got 3 laps before the DRS does get turned on though, so Logan's probably going to be able to hold his ground for a small while. And Alu's 1.2 seconds off the back of Trumpus, and you would begin to figure, there you go, there's where it happens. Now Alu's got to defend from LBU, as LBU is going to come down the straight right behind Alu, and it's going to go to the inside, and then to the outside of turn 2. Oh, a little bit of a collision there, a bit of wheel banging between the Red Bull of Alu and LBU, but it looked like LBU and Alu going to go into the chicane alongside each other. And it looks like LBU is going to win that fight. Mark right on the back now on 6th lap old softs might be looking to take advantage. And 0.2 of a second down the straight, almost into the back of Alu. A good camera angle of Mark's car trying to get past. The softs probably faster at this point, but whether or not he's going to be able to make a move, the McLaren made a dive. Got the Mercedes up the inside now. Made a very late dive there, BR4. Didn't get away with it. Trumpus does get in front of Trocker. And Logan, looking to make an immediate fight back, is not going to be able to do it. And Trumpus has quite the gap now. BR4 and Mitchell, what the hell has happened there? BR4 just cut the world champion. Terminator's going to get bashed as well. And Terminator's going to have a wheel banging session with BR4. It looked like that last corner was all over the place for the middle of the pack here. Everyone within about a second again after the safety car. LBU off the back of Stell by quite a margin already. Stekel's obviously a lap down. DRS should come in at the end of the lap. But as for what we're going to get before the end of the lap is possibly some overtakes. Mitchell looking for it on Mark. Mitchell trying to take advantage of Mark's 7-lap old soft tyres with his mediums at the moment. Maybe also with the pace between the two guys, probably would be expected that Mitchell goes on past it. He does down the straight to the wall of champions, and Mitchell does make the move stick. He does move up to 6th. He does have a penalty. It looked like he's shaken off the what might have been damage from earlier on. Now he has to have a go at Alu and LBU, who are slightly in front of him. Not out of DRS range by any stretch yet. Penalties might come back to bite Mitchell again. Logan is struggling badly with the two guys on fresher softs at the moment. No, fresher medium, sorry. And his 11-lap old mediums are not going to do him any justice here whatsoever, as Trumpus and Stell probably going to get past, and Logan looked like with the decisions that he made with strategy might have come back to pay at the moment. Trumpets' mediums definitely look better, but with DRS, Logan looked to get close again. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to make a move happen. He definitely isn't going to make a move happen, as Stell and Logan were identical. They're timed away from the person in front for a slight second there. It looked like Trumpus is holding his ground at the moment. Alu half a tenth back and Mitchell half a tenth back on Alu. Looked like we might have some form of battle there. As Logan got it all wrong through the third chicane by the on the track. It's allowed for Stell to get past. Those tires are really helping helping Trumpus and Stell come to the detriment of Logan. And it looked like Stell didn't get DRS there. He didn't, as Trumpus looks to open a gap now. Mitchell does have DRS on Alu. Fresher mediums probably means that Mitchell might look for a move here. Can he get it? He's gonna look for it, but he's gonna decide to stay behind him instead. Maybe get him with DRS down here, but DRS isn't exactly powerful down the main home straight. And it's going to allow for Alu to stay in front of Mitchell for probably one more lap. Mitchell will have a straight shot at LBU. It was 2.5 seconds off the back of Logan, so those three look to have the top 3 spots in hand. Mark gets 3 seconds, and I believe that now is everyone outside of the top 3 has penalties. Mitchell with the DRS, same with Alu DRS, is still not able to make a move on Alu. Is probably going to look for it down into the Wall of Champions here. He's going for the hairpin, about 3.5 tenths. Might be able to see something happen. To his gaps closing in. It's now 1/4 second with the slipstream. Mitchell is still too far back. Logan gets 3 seconds as well, so that looks like that's the end of Logan's chance of winning. And 3 seconds for as Mark comes into pit, and Mitchell does get past through the Wall of Champions. Got to the inside of the second corner there and gets past into 5th for the moment. Penalties look like it might come back to be a bit of a nightmare for him though. Logan's now 3 and a bit seconds off the lead, and Stell's now half a second off Trumpus, who still has the lead with 8 laps to go. It looks like DRS is going to be in 4th to all 3. Mitchell now 4 tenths of just under half a second, off of LBU, and when they come into the straight, LBU might have to do some defending, as Trumpus is doing some defending here as well. He does it successfully for the first part. DRS again, and it looks like he might be able to hold on here. He does hold on. About 3.5 tenths of a second going into turn 1. Gets 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane as his day goes from bad to worse. Looks like Mitchell is right on the back of LBU now, as Mitchell has been flying since the safety car, that's for sure. And with this, Mark might be the last one to get points. Mitchell with the DRS against LBU, goes to the inside, gets it done before the corner, and Mitchell's moved up into 4th for the moment. He's got 7 laps to break a 3-second gap on LBU if he wants to get 4th as a whole. In order to do that, he's probably LBU looking right down the side there, possibly making a move, but lost out by a good 3 or 4 tenths as a result, and Stell and Trompers go back at it again in the distance. It looks like Trompers has won again, and BR4 goes through on Alupalu as he gets up into 6th now. LBU getting DRS on Mitchell, and well, that's happened in the football. So Stell about 5 tenths back going into the chicane. It looks like we've got a few people there that have the... Oh, well, they got Mitchell's chance of getting a high position. That didn't last long. Mark just set the fastest lap of the entire race, which I think is rather interesting for lap 29. Got still got this little DRS train at the front of the race. Logan, whilst probably being able to do something on track, is out of it in the actual race to win. It's 2 tenths of a second. Now the quarter second, all 3 of these are going at it. It looks like none of them are able to make anything work though. BR4 gets 3 seconds behind in the distance, with Mitchell coming through the wall of champions onto lap 30. You've got 5 or 6 laps left of the race. And there's still multiple people who can win this. LBU gets an extra 3 seconds. So we go back to where we were before, where Mitchell needs a 3-second gap if he wants to make anything work. Gonna need a 6-second gap on some of the guys further behind him, like Alu, who's only got 3 seconds. But these front 2 have kept it relatively clean through the race as a whole. And it's been roughly the same amount of distance away from each other for quite a while as well. We've had a couple of close calls coming down this straight in particular. Looks like we're not going to get a close one here. It is within quarter of a second, but it's not within a close enough distance where he might have been able to make any sort of advancement. Going to get within quarter of a second again going into turn 1 or 2, whichever way, if you want to count the slight corner at the beginning of the beside the start finish line. And Logan still holding his own at the back of this. Mitchell not able to break away from LBU at all. And as a result, he's going to be quite the ways down the grid by the end of this. Still only got, we've got 12, which is we've effectively got 11 finishers. Stickless's CPU is a lap down and hasn't done anything for ages. About 6.5 tenths going into the straight again. Might be able to cut it down to within maybe a quarter of a second again. These two, it's not even going to be a quarter of a second, it's going to be 3 tenths this time, as these two seem to be in an utter stalemate at the moment. LBU closing in on Mitchell now, as the tire advantage isn't a thing between these two, but LBU looks like he has a bit more pace, especially down the straights thanks to DRS, but whether or not that's enough to get Mitchell, we've basically seen it all day at the front, where DRS trains and nothing really comes out of them unless it's a 1v1. That's not a train at that point, it's just straight up who can get the better line. It's 4.5 tenths of a second, so if Trumpet is going to want to hold this, he's going to have to open the gap a little bit, because Stell might be able to make something work this time. Doesn't open the gap anywhere near enough. It's 4.5 tenths, which we've seen before. It's usually about enough to make a move down this straight. And it looks like Stell's going for it. And Stell got it. Stell got into first position on lap 32 of the race. And now Trumpers is got 3 laps to make something of it. Three laps to fight back from what Stell has just done, and that is getting to the lead of the race. As Trumpus has not fought back well at all as Joe comes into pit again. It allows Mark to move up to 9th for the moment. It looked like Trumpus is not able to get close enough. Given everything through the defense of Stell, and he's come up short. He's 1.2 seconds behind now, and he could be even susceptible to get passed by Logan in the next straight. Logan is just going to take third because that's all he can get at this point. But Trumpus has got to get that gap down. He's got to get it down quick. Erm's retired from the session, so we do have everyone who actually finished the race is getting points. The yellow flag in sector 2, Erm just looked like he spun. That pretty much confirms my suspicion. Trumpus 0.8 of a second. He has fought himself back into DRS, but is running out of time very quickly. He's going to have to do quite an extraordinary lap to put himself in any sort of reach whatsoever. Can't get a safety car, a virtual safety car, because we are on the final 2 laps. And 0.7 of a second. He's going to have 2 more shots realistically at this. Realistically, this being one of them. Here we go through the hairpin for the second and final last time. 0.7 of a second. This time on the next lap, he realistically has to be within 4, maybe half a second at the absolute most. He had something explode outside. Jesus Christ. He's got within half a second now. He's losing it at the moment. He's not able to push Stell for the final lap now. He's got to keep it close. If he doesn't keep this close, it might be game over. 3 DNFs in a row. Yeah, I'm not too surprised. Here we go into the end of the first sector and into the first DRS of the lap. Joe gets 3 seconds worth of track limits. It's 0.6 of a second. It's now within half a second. And if Trumpus is able to keep this, he might be able to set something up. Time is slowly getting bigger. It's all down to this hairpin because DRS is going to throw in a good chunk of that time. It's going to be about 5.5, nearly 0.6, and I don't think that's enough. I don't think he got it closed enough. Here we go. Well, time will tell. He's going to have to try and send it. He hasn't got enough. Trumpus gets 3 seconds for his worries, and Stell has well and truly won this race now, and Stell comes over the line and wins in Canada. Trumpus going to take second, Logan's going to take third after strategy calls killed his race. LBU's going to take fourth, Mitchell's going to take fifth, and I think he's going to be alright with that, maybe as a consolation prize, because he did have a good drive up until smacking the wall after his first pit stop. And that is not good news for Logan. If Stell's going to win the race, Stell now had a bigger gap at the front of the championship. I don't know why I'm going on to Google and need to be on Discord. And now we get to see people in the I'm trying to find who I want to actually interview here. Where's Stel? Who else do I want to do there? I don't even have, just realised I screwed up. I don't even have to put anything at the end of the sentence. If I add someone at the end of a race, everyone knows what it is at this point.
Oh.
Hello. And wait for Trumpus and Stel here.
Trumpus needs added to the party, probably.
I'm waiting for Trumpus to say if he wants to.
He's thumbs up it.
Are they?
He did.
I know Stel did. I did. I accidentally clicked it trying to find out who it would that actually thumbs up it. Let me see if I can add Trumpus. If he isn't already in here. He isn't. I'll add him. No, I can't even add him. Let me add them again. What the hell is going on outside my house? Gonna wait. None of them are gonna see my thing here, is there? I know Stel thumbs upped it, and I know Stel's in here. It's been there. He is.
There he is.
Well, we can wait. Well, we can do this while we wait for Trumpus. I don't think Trumpus is going to join, to be fair.
Can we still have an argument?
Argue away.
Straight to the arguments. Go ahead, Tracker.
No. It's...
You can't say that. You can't say that and not.
Other than the safety car, the full safety car, I can't complain about much.
You can't say that and then not. Trumpus has thumbs upped it, but I can't actually add him.
I'll add him. Where's add players there? Yeah, the full safety car was the only thing that I could have to complain about.
Well then, Logan, let's start with yours. Talk us through your race then.
Start was better than expected. I only lost one place this time. Then I just sat in the DRS, so the pair in front. Then there was that VSC on lap 7, and then it said ending just as we got to the final corner, so I decided to just stay out because I'd been preserving my tyres while I was sitting behind them. So yeah, they both pit. They both went mediums, so they both had to pit again. I stretched to lap 12, and then was just gonna go to the end like I did, but the safety car meant they could pit and get back up behind me. But I was gaining on them when I came out the pits, and then I would have rathered no safety car so that I gained on them. Then they pitted, then had to gain the time again. Maybe could have won, maybe could have not, who knows. But overall, it's an alright race considering I had very minimal practice time, and
fair enough. Well,
I'm only 20 points behind now. Yay!
Only 20, Jesus. Well, given the fact that with hindsight it's always 2020, but would you say if you were given a chance to race that exact same race again, you would do stuff differently?
No.
Damn, fair enough.
I would. The strategy I think would have worked. The one stop soft to medium. I babied those soft tires in the first stint. Like they weren't even at 50% when I pitted on lap 12. So yeah, I think I could have done much better without that safety car, but screw Denja and all, or whatever it was.
And now my final question I'll ask is to all three of you. So obviously next week it's a track that none of us actually know where it is. Where are you hoping that it is? Bearing in mind it can't be
MLR.
something already on the calendar.
MLR. We can do MLR again, can't we, Stell?
I'm pretty sure it's not
I
on the
prefer
calendar.
Monaco.
I'm pretty sure it's not on
I
the
would
calendar
like to
at
do
all.
Monaco. Monaco would be fun.
You heard it.
Monaco or MLR?
Buma,
Monaco or
if you were
MLR?
watching the stream, you heard it. He said Monaco is fun.
Monaco.
Oh,
Let's do
100%.
I hope the admins are watching this. If we don't get Monaco, me and Stella are stepping down from the rest of the season if we don't get Monaco.
Someone clip that, hold them to this. But no, I actually don't think I don't think it's something we can that's already been on the calendar or is to come on the calendar. So I don't think your Imola is a possibility.
Yeah, Imola is not a feasible option since we've already raced there this season. Which I won, by the way.
Hard to shill it. Fuck's sake.
No, I think Monaco would be fun. It would really test the best of the best versus the worst of the worst.
That's all we're putting it.
Let's go on, Monaco.
Fair enough.
Or Spa. Spa would be fun. Spa or Monaco. Preferably
I can
Monaco.
get behind the first one. I'm not agreeing with your second. But thank you for the interview, Logan. It's basically a weekly routine at this point.
Yes, it is. Me and Stella are here often, and then we have a special guest this week, Trumpus.
Thank you.
Well, talking about Trumpus, come second. Trumpus, talk us through your race. Actually, first off, can they hear you? Because your audio sharing on. I'm making sure I'm not.
Yeah, I fix it.
Nice.
Yeah, so basically in qualifying I screwed up the last corner and lost, I think, almost 2 attempts. So I would at least been P2. So, but I got a great start compared to El Trucker.
That's not difficult.
Yeah, well, I managed to get P2 and I was quite happy start to race. Then just managed to stay behind Stelrepos in his DRS for as long as possible because he had really great pace in the beginning of the race. Just doing exactly what he did, just follow him. And then when the virtual safety car came out, I knew that I was in my pit window, so I just went in and Stelrepos did the same thing. And I noticed the trucker didn't, and I did pit there, not because it's faster, but because safety car is very likely in this tier. So I thought that maybe another safety car will come out later, so we'll gain. And that was exactly what happened, luckily. And yeah, then I pushed before the pits. I think it was the second safety car to go ahead of Stelrepos because I wanted track position and managed to get in front of him. So after the last safety car I was P1 or P2 after El Trucker. Then I got ahead. I got past El Trucker, tried to get out of the DRS, but didn't manage to do that. So I had like 25% DRS every lap and didn't gain any more DRS for the rest of the race. And Stelrepos had DRS, so it wasn't much I could do from there. Really. And he gained the win. I gained my position, gained the win, and yeah, fair play.
Fair enough. When you are at the end of the race, it just clearly wasn't meant to be because you got overtaken with like 3 laps left of the race. What's the reaction? What's going through your mind when you're like so close but yet so far?
I was happy. It's my personal best still. I would of course loved the win today, but I knew like with 10 laps to go that Stelrepos probably will at least get a pretty good chance at overtaking. Since my red light was flashing probably like the entire last stint, and yeah, I knew he had a pace, so I was counting on at least P2, but I just had to keep my head calm, not crash, trying to push for the win.
Fair enough. And then obviously I've asked Logan it already. I'm asking all 3 of you. What track do you want next week?
Well, I want to say Monaco, but since Stelrepos and Trucker don't want to race if it's not, then maybe I will change my mind.
I didn't say I'm good at it, I just want to race it.
Didn't you win by 55 seconds in Tier 2 when you raced it last time?
Yes, I did. It also rained that season, and everyone was useless that season, so...
Fair enough. But yeah, what track do you actually want to go to then, Trumpus?
I don't really know what we have on the calendar. Probably like, I think we got the most tracks once. Saudi Arabia, I actually like.
That's
Like
the
no one
next
else.
race
have it.
after that.
That's nice.
It was left on the calendar is Zandvoort, which is the race after next week. Saudi Arabia, Portugal, Great Britain, Singapore, and Brazil. Left
What
on the
races
calendar.
haven't we driven this season? Abu Dhabi. I like that track.
Oh yeah, Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, I choose Abu Dhabi.
there you
Yes,
go.
Abu Dhabi.
No rain.
No.
No rain.
So that's a yes from Logan on that one, and Stell's just like,
Yes, absolutely.
go as
Logan-
far away from this as
Logan
physically
says a yes
possible.
for everything, bro.
Who won Abu Dhabi last season? Just remind me.
I don't remember.
It
One
was
guy,
me.
I think that guy won just out of luck. I think I don't remember his name. Though.
I think Harm just let him win.
Harm was useless that race. It was Chiquito that won on the track. He was just stupid.
Fair enough. Thank you for the interview, Trumpus.
Yeah, thank you.
And Stell, you know this works. Talk us
mate.
through your race.
I mean, the start was pretty good. The first laps were good, but I figured that I'm losing so much battery, and just trying to stay ahead of Trumpas with him on the DRS, it was like just very difficult because I was losing so much battery. And when he did the when he made the move, I didn't even try to defend or something. I knew that the best position at that moment it was second. First of all, congratulations to Trombas, like a great race. Almost had the win. Also, Tracker was very unlucky with the strategy because now I believe
Lucky?
that,
That was pure skill.
I didn't say lucky. I said, wait. I said unlucky.
Oh, unlucky.
Yeah, that's pure skill.
Yeah.
What do you mean
Pure
it's
skill.
skill? His strategy was
Pure
so
skill, my
fucked.
Yeah, I think that
Denja's
strategy,
pure skill.
the one pit strategy was the best strategy today. But I also believe that it's gonna be a safety car. So that's why I went for the two-stop. When the second safety car, when we pitted for the second time, I was behind Alu, so I had to push like crazy to get these guys because they opened up the gap for I think 2 seconds in front of me, so I had to really push and consume all my battery to just get with them. I knew that at some point I'm gonna be able to overtake Tracker because I knew that his tires are gonna go off. So that was
They were
my
only
first goal.
10% when the safety car came out.
I know, but still, like the degradation is pretty. You know, you had the tires for like 5 to 6 laps or something.
6. Yeah, 6, I think.
So exactly, I would have definitely had the pace to pass on the last laps, and that was my initial goal, just to pass Striker. I didn't think that I'm gonna be able to pass Trumpas. When he passed Striker, I thought that he's just gonna go away. Luckily, he didn't. So Striker had a moment over there. I wasn't even expecting it. I just saw him have a moment there, and I went for it. I knew that I have to overtake over there, and then I tried to just stay behind Trumpas, save some ERS, and make a move at probably the last lap. I was thinking 1 or 2 laps until the end, but I saw his light flashing at some point, and I think it was lap 33, 32 or something. I was very close to him. And, I mean, you never know how the race is going to go, so I saw an opportunity and I just went for it. And I managed to also get away over a second. I don't think he had the DRS in the first lap. But then, again, I didn't want to drain my battery. I didn't even notice that he had a penalty. He must have had it
He picked it
in
up on the
last
very
lap.
final corner.
Yeah, because I saw him behind me. I knew that he has the DRS. He was like 1 or 2 tenths behind me, so I thought that he might pass me at the end. I was like, this is gonna be so embarrassing. But then I saw the 3 seconds penalty, and everything went good for me.
Fair enough. I think you've answered pretty much all the questions I possibly could have asked.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a second question I can ask you off that one. Basically explain the entire race.
Yeah.
So I think I'll just skip forward and ask you about the track you want to race at next week.
Well, I already said that
Abu Dhabi,
I
clearly.
would like Monaco, but I would definitely be okay with Spain or Australia.
Oh no! Not Australia!
We found something that Logan doesn't like. Admit, are you listening?
Alright, so we're going back to Monaco, right?
I don't know. I think me and Trumpus were pretty set on Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi. Enough Abu Dhabi.
And yeah,
Until
no.
there's enough Abu Dhabi until the new game that the track is gonna be fixed. Hopefully.
Yeah, it's not going to be though, is it?
Yes,
It's just not. We're asking way too
Milestone.
much.
Milestone managed to fix Spain in 20 days before the release of last year's game.
Yeah, and you're asking too much of EA and Codemasters. They've had it for like 8 months, so it could have fixed it for like 8 months, and they'll probably still not be fixed. But yeah, I think I'll leave the interview there actually, because I can't think of any more questions. Because I don't want to keep asking the thing about the championship, because, you know, we're only halfway.
Because it gets boring after a while?
Yeah,
I have a
and
question
we're only halfway.
for Tracker.
Go on then.
Alright.
I have a question for Logan. How frustrated are you?
Right.
Are you still thinking of retiring?
Yeah. After third place in Canada, normally I'd be quite annoyed, and I could have had more pace today. But the fact that I had a geography exam yesterday, I've got French exam on Tuesday.
That is,
In my defense, I didn't.
that is
I
the
didn't
most
practice this
PR.
week.
That started as the most PR fucking answer, and then turned into the most normal excuse I think I've ever heard.
I mean, I've not had the time to practice. I'm not going to have the time to practice for the next few races. You've got an advantage in practicing for the next race because you live in America.
What does it even mean?
Well, the next race, we don't find out until 8 o'clock the night before the race.
Yeah.
In the UK, which is 3 PM for you, isn't it?
Yes,
Full day
but
of
sometimes
practice.
I work until right before the race.
Right, so, no, but it's the day before. So if you've got that
Day before.
night...
You have a day before.
No. You do have 3 or 4 hours. We don't do anything.
We have 7 days here too, right? A week is 7 days here too.
Yes, I know. But
Okay.
we find out the race 24 hours before we're meant to race, right?
Yeah.
7 of those hours I'm in school, 10 of those 8 to 10 I'm sleeping, that's 15 hours. I'm eating, I've got like an hour and a half, 2 hours to practice. Whereas you, it's 3 PM, so you've got the afternoon of the day before.
Listen, I already
Bullshit!
told
You go from 8
that
o'clock on the day until like you go off at 11:30.
Be quiet.
Bullshit!
But you see what I mean? Like,
I told you I didn't race this week at all. I only did time trial right before the race.
We'd only asked
I didn't
every
even
single
know
day.
which strategy was quicker. I didn't know what to do, honestly.
I didn't know either. I made it up on the spot.
Anyways,
Yeah, I
Wait,
think
I got a question.
Go on.
Still Repas, did you have any warnings on the last lap?
Not a single one. Not a single
Okay.
one.
I got
Oh my
2 on the
God.
last lap trying to get near DRS. So yeah, that's why I was
I
pretty
almost
clean, I
got
thought,
a
but
couple.
then, yeah.
I almost
Can I
got
just
a
say,
couple
Stel, you
when
were
I was
the
behind you, but
Stel, you were the only person in the entire lobby that didn't get a penalty.
really?
Yep, the only
Oh, wow.
person in the entire lobby because Trump has picked one right out on the final corner.
Fuck.
Yeah, mine was so stupid. I didn't get another warning after I got mine. I was so annoyed.
Honestly.
Anyways,
Right,
unfortunate.
I think
What's
I'm going to end the
fun?
stream.